About 2.5 years ago, I wrote an article exposing the silver scam that was initiated by Max Keiser, the whining, fraudulent, lying moron. This is a guy who only interviews idiots. You won't find any credible experts. He finds the least credible people in the world, and I will go over this in the future. Complete morons. The key thing is that they pump gold and silver. They're always warning about, the fiat currency, it's bad, and all the countries are going to implode. Because Max Keiser is a major gold pumper, major silver pumper. Max Keiser is receiving a huge amount of money from gold dealers and silver dealers. Why is he not telling you that? Because he's a fraud. He's a scumbag. He's a typical con artist. See, all these guys are the same. Sean Hannity, Glenn Beck, all these guys, Ron Paul, they sequester your negative energy that you have for the fraud, your frustration for the bankers, all that they have done, your losses, and they turn that into a positive force for their propaganda. For instance, Max Keiser talks about how the evil bankers and they're so evil and they're so bad, and let's get them back, guys. So he started his rumor about JP Morgan's silver short positions, which, quite honestly, nobody really can tell. You can look at the data, but that doesn't tell you shit for a variety of reasons. I'm not going to get into it. There's many ways that banks can hide their positions. But anyway, the point is that he sold his low IQ, naive, gullible sheep this whole idea that they could break the bank at JP Morgan by buying silver, right? Buying silver. Now, of course, you had to buy physical silver, right? No one ever asked Max Keiser why you couldn't just buy a silver ETF. Because the physical market is tied into the securities market. The pricing is the same, essentially. But of course, Max Keiser, like all con artists, would come back with some bullshit line, some bullshit statement, which his moronic audience can't challenge because they're too stupid. This is how all these con men work. Anyway, so Max Keiser got all his sheep, if you can just all buy some silver, we can crush JP Morgan. Well, I warned about this shortly after Max Keiser went on the Alex Jones show, got Alex Jones, the gold and silver pumper. He's similar to Max Keiser, involved in this bullshit, and I warned people. And this is the article here, written December 13th, 2010. And he was basically guaranteeing people that silver was going to $500. I mean, this guy should be put in prison. He's a con artist. But, ultimately it takes stupid people to fall for these things. And I also go into Kevin Trudeau because, of course, Alex Jones promoted Kevin Trudeau like he's a hero, like he's a successful businessman. And then I go over Gerald Celente, talk about Zero Hedge. Celente is another idiot. Zero Hedge is another lying pack of bullshit. They're gold pumpers. So I suggest you read this article. I think it's entertaining and informative. I also talk about Mike Shedlock, the moron, one of the biggest morons out there. Yeah. Buy this doll he has it, if you hate Goldman Sachs, buy the Max Keiser action figure. I mean, do you see the manipulative psychology there? The deviant psychology? Have a link at the bottom, the follow-up article. And so this is the follow-up article, October 4th, 2011. So here I'm talking about how I warned everybody about 10, 11 months ago about Max Keiser pumping silver and Alex Jones pumping silver. So as you can see, this is right around I released this article. And Keiser gets Alex Jones involved. And so then silver skyrockets. And right here at about $45, I announce in writing that I'm going to be selling the last of my silver coins that I had for a long time. Just kind of had some eagles that I liked. And then shortly thereafter, silver climbs up to about $50 and then collapses. And of course it had a bear trap rally, and then it really collapses here in September, October. And then you have this Mike Krieger of Zero Hedge, claiming to be a hedge fund manager, by the way. He doesn't run a hedge fund. He's an unemployed loser who lost his job at Lehman. And then he went to some little small shop, Sanford Bernstein, because he was a loser. And then he basically lost his job. So what is he doing now? He's doing nothing. He's on Max Keiser. Max Keiser pumps all these guys up like they're credible. They're a joke. These people are a joke. And I'll get into these chumps on the encyclopedia of bozos and hacks and clowns and snake oil salesmen. I've gone into a lot already, but I'll go into more. Anyway, I warned everybody about this, and I just wanted to point that out. If you got taken, strike it up as a lesson learned. Don't do it again. And don't listen to this guy. Email him and tell him he's a fraud. Tell him I told you so. Anyway, the main reason why I wanted to make this video is I wanted to warn you about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the latest scam that Max Keiser is pumping. Now, I wanted to go over this a while back, but I just didn't have time. And I still don't even have time to cover it as much as I would like to. I almost didn't even do this video because I really wanted to spend the appropriate amount of time on Bitcoin to show you exactly why it is a scam. But I felt the need to release a video immediately because Bitcoin is soaring. It's going through the bubble, the Max Keiser bubble baloney. Max Keiser has been pumping this thing, and the media is complicit as well. He has a posting on Huffington Post, his blog. Of course, Huffington Post banned me. They wouldn't let me post anything. Think about that. People, if you support these media entities that have banned me, you are doing two things. You're shooting yourself in the leg, and you're shooting me in the leg. Do not support enemies of me. I'm the only guy out there on your side. I'm the only guy sacrificing his own money, his own ability and opportunity to earn money to wake you people up. So you need to ban these guys. Even if you listen to their broadcast, if you read their garbage, you're making them money because they sell ads based upon the number of hits they get, the number of views and listeners. You understand, you don't have to click an ad. The ad prices are determined based upon their audience number. So let me just go over what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is a so-called virtual currency. The virtual currency markets have been out there for several years. Many of them have been associated with shady websites, such as pornography business and other things, of course. The Bitcoin is a little different in that it allows anonymity, and that's even better for organized crime, as you can imagine. So I'm not going to tell you the whole story. If you're interested, you can look it up. Or perhaps if you don't know what Bitcoin is, if you're not involved, then just don't worry about it. But if you are involved, I'm telling you right now, it's a scam. Bitcoin essentially came from nowhere around the middle of 2009. And there's an anonymous programmer with a Japanese name who supposedly developed this open source code. And then about a year later, he walked away. Apparently, he sold the interest to someone. And it's interesting because apparently Bitcoin did not get off the ground really until about middle of 2011, which was right around the time when the silver bubble was getting ready to implode. So Max Keiser apparently was already lining up his next scam. I'm willing to bet $10,000 that Max Keiser does have some type of interest in Bitcoin, not just owning Bitcoins, but has some type of deal where he's involved with the owners. And I would say there's probably several owners out there. I have my suspicions of what's going on, and I'm continuing to investigate this. So what's the problem with Bitcoin? Well, first of all, without going into detail, supposedly they're never going to create more than 21 million coins. Once again, the anonymity it's preached is a huge advantage, but it's also a big problem because it encourages money laundering. It encourages use by terrorist groups and other illegal activities. Now, most important to this situation with Bitcoin is the fact that the founders or insiders can easily manipulate the price without anyone knowing because you can make multiple accounts that are anonymous. Now, there's about 11 million of these coins outstanding, around half of the total intended amount that's going to be issued. Well, about 6 million of those coins are owned by the founder or founders or owners. So imagine what that means. It means you have essentially, it's kind of like a stock where you've got a low float, or the number of coins that are available to trade is small relative to the number outstanding. You've got insiders that hold 6 million, or more than half. Now, in addition to that, the trading volume is very low. Just a few thousand every 15 minutes, typically it's been, or a few 100,000 per day. Now, combine that with the huge position of the owners or founders or insiders, and you have a clear recipe for price manipulation, similar to penny stocks. And we saw already, I believe it was maybe summer of 2011, the price collapsed to 1 penny. And now it's as high as, I think it was recently $147. Think about that. It's a huge racket. You've got people that are getting paid to provide the hardware and broadband to facilitate this. They're called the coin miners. They're getting rich off this. You have people who are buying into this, and they're using it as a speculative investment, and it's clearly a bubble. It was at a bubble stage even when it was at $40 a few weeks ago, and now recently it's hit $147. Think about this. It was a penny just 1 or 2 years ago. So it's clear to me that it is a sophisticated form of a pyramid scheme. And, there's no auditing, there's no central authority to prevent or investigate fraud and manipulation. And you're really just relying on the program, and you're trusting everyone who uses it. And I can guarantee you it will be hacked. It will be hacked. So I want to go into this more. I just don't have the time, especially since I've got to do the newsletters over the next 2 weeks, not to mention my taxes. So I just wanted to point this out. It's a huge scam. Max Keiser needs to be called out for this. He is a scam artist. You see, these crooks, what they do is they hide behind the media. Jim Cramer is the guy that started doing this in the beginning. He realized that you could use the media to basically create financial scams, a variety of financial scams. He's been doing that ever since then. Max Keiser's doing it now. He did it with silver. He's doing it with Bitcoin. You need to ban these idiots. You need to circulate this video. You need to inform everybody about this. Max Keiser is not on your side. He is sequestering the anger and the frustration that you have against these criminal bankers and the money that you have lost and the jobs that you have lost. He's sequestering that anger. He's leveraging it and turning it into a huge scheme for himself. He's telling you that you can fight back. You can fight back against the Federal Reserve. You can use Bitcoin. He posts all this propaganda about Bitcoin. If you're not aware of my track record and my ability to spot fraud and liars and crooks and idiots, then I suggest you get up to speed. And once you do, you're going to believe what I'm telling you. Max Keiser is a disaster. This guy needs to be, just ban this guy, and you need to report this guy to the authorities. You can start with the FTC. You could even email the SEC. Just email help@sec.gov. Now, of course, they're not going to have any regulation on this, but they will contact other regulators and authorities. The key thing is you just need to contact people about this, because there's going to be people that lose a lot of money. A lot of people that lose a lot of money. And Max Keiser, in the meantime, is making tens of millions of dollars. And he's pitching this as a safe form of currency. Mark my words, people. Bitcoin is going to end at a big disaster. And a lot of people are going to get hurt, just like they did with the silver scam that Max Keiser engineered. Alex Jones is in on this, by the way, this Bitcoin now. And the libertarians are in on this. The Von Mises Institute. They have the endorsement of the Von Mises guys. Think about that. Whatever happened to their gold currency, their hard assets? They're pumping this Bitcoin scam. These Von Mises idiots are pumping this Bitcoin scam now. Sounds to me like some of these Von Mises morons are involved in Bitcoin now, right? Just think about that and do your own research. Again, there's a lot more I know about Bitcoin. There's a lot more I would like to present. I just don't have the time. And I'm continuing to investigate this. So that's all for now, folks.